Good afternoon, everybody. It is Melissa Johnson speaking. I am the Principal Psychologist and the Director at Thriving Mind Psychology Clinic located here on the Sunshine Coast. And welcome to vlog number 26 of the 90-day vlog challenge. Now, I actually just realised today that not everybody knows what a vlog is. I thought I'd better quickly explain it. I'm sure you've realised by now, but I was talking to someone about vlogging today and they were looking at me quite weird and had no idea what it was I was actually talking about. So of course vlog, V-L-O-G, is a video blog. So exactly what I'm doing now, it is called vlogging. So I thought I'd better quickly explain that, just in case you had no idea what it was I was talking about every time I said welcome to the 90-day vlog challenge. So today I am talking about what if and the art of catastrophizing. So of course this is in the context of my vlog yesterday where I gave a bit of theory and a bit of information around cognitive behavioural therapy, which is really sort of a gold standard therapy that we use a lot in helping treating people with mental health illnesses and stress and anxiety and depression and all sorts of other life factors going on. And if you remember, we talked about how there is an association or a link between the way we think and how we feel, and how they can both actually impact each other. So the way we think can impact how we feel and vice versa. The way we think can impact how we behave and vice versa. And there's also a link between the way we feel and our behaviour and vice versa. So you'll remember that triangle that I showed you yesterday. So also what we discussed was often what can happen is our thinking styles, when we get caught up in worry and thinking and unhelpful types of thinking. Hi Sam, thank you for joining. Some of those unhelpful, when we get caught up in those unhelpful thinking styles, it can really have quite an impact or a negative impact at times on the way we feel and also on the way we behave. So today and over the next few days, I'm actually going to talk about some of these unhelpful thinking styles and sort of name and shame them a little bit, I guess, because I think it's helpful to be able to identify them if we can put a name to them. And really that's the very first step in stopping worry in its tracks, is to be able to identify that we're engaging in this unhelpful self-mind chatter. So today, of course, I'm talking about catastrophizing. And what that means is sometimes we can engage in a thought process that is really snowballs quite quickly and blows things out of proportion. And it's normally preempted by this what if statement. Okay, so often we might get caught up in thinking about things like what if. So for example, what if I went to this party and everyone stared at me when I walked in? How terrible would that be? I would not cope with that. It would be awful, dreadful, terrible, and I will be absolutely humiliated. Yeah? So that is an example of what if, which then completely blows into catastrophization, worst case scenario. Another example might be, what if I turn completely bright red in the middle of my oral presentation at university tomorrow? That will be so embarrassing. I don't think I could ever get up and do another oral presentation ever again. I'll probably fail. Yeah? Another example. Another example might not necessarily always be what if. It could be, I don't think I could disagree with my husband about this, because it could mean that we will have a terrible relationship and it will absolutely destroy our relationship and we'll never speak ever again. Okay, so there's a few different examples of how we can do some what-ifing and some catastrophizing about things that might be happening in our life. So it's really where we predict into the future, or we spend a bit too much time in the future thinking about all the possible worst-case scenarios that could possibly happen. The problem with this, of course, is when we are engaging in this what-if or any sort of unhelpful thinking or worry, it really hijacks us. And it hijacks the present moment. So what that means is we're spending way too much time over here, not only thinking, But then what happens is we get filled with dread, we have an increase in physical sensations, we might feel to have some difficulty breathing. Well, I'm sorry, I'm having a big gust of wind here, probably facing the wrong way. We have an increase in physical sensations, and then that also in itself triggers further anxiety. So this unhelpful thinking style and all of these unhelpful thinking styles and worry in general really hijacks our ability to be in the present moment and to be in that moment at that party and actually enjoy yourself, or to be in that moment with your husband and actually engage in a good assertive communication pattern. It might even hijack your ability to give that presentation because you're so caught up in the possible worst case scenario of what might happen that your anxiety levels rise so much that it actually starts to impact your performance. So remember, our thinking not only impacts how we feel, it also can impact our behavior and the outcome. So that is catastrophizing, and also that whole what if. So I really would invite you to have a think about trying to notice when our worry or our what ifs or our catastrophizing are starting to hijack our present moment. That is the very first step. Someone's just started a motorbike just across the road from me, so I'm really sorry about that noise. They're revving it up and down the grass there. Sorry, I am completely distracted by the motorbike and the wind. So really notice it when you're getting caught up and hijacked, okay? If we don't even notice that we were getting caught up and hijacked, then it's pretty hard to do anything about it. So first step, notice, name it. Oh, I'm doing that what if thing. I'm doing that catastrophizing thing. I'm predicting the worst case scenario. So that if we notice it, it helps to stop us from engaging in it, and it helps to stop giving the power to be hijacked. The second step I would invite you to think about is to try and reframe it, or to try and just ask yourself some questions around what is the likelihood that this is actually going to happen? What else can I focus on? If this does happen, is it really going to be that bad? Will I get through? So even if that worst case scenario did happen, even if I did go to the party and everyone stared at me, would I really be that bad? Would it really matter in 20 years' time? Okay, so really just questioning a little bit, reframing it a little bit, and bring yourself back to the present. Don't let it hijack you. We spend so much time hijacked in the future worrying about something that sometimes, a lot of the times, never happens. And in the interim, we've missed out on being in the present. So that is it for me today. I have had so many distractions. I am so sorry. The dogs are going, the birds are going, the kids are going, the wind is going, and the motorbike is going. I will pick a better spot tomorrow to vlog from. I hope you have all had a fabulous day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Thanks for joining Sam. I do appreciate it. And as always, don't forget there's never been a better day to take the steps to having your thriving mind and your thriving life. Bye for now.